Hello, everyone. Very pleased to be with you now, and I'm here to tell you a bit of the story of the Ubisoft. The Ubisoft is the Northeast, and what we wanted to do is to share our story, how we evolved from a contact center into a customer relationship center of excellence. So, with me, I have so I'm the general manager of the CRC here, and with me I have Sarah and Giselle. If you want to say a word. Okay, I don't know it's working. Sarah, do you can you speak?
Hello.
Okay, and Giselle. Hello, Giselle.
Hello.
And okay,
Hello.
okay, Sarah, you want to say a word to present yourself?
Hi everyone. Yeah, I'm the HR director at CRC. Have been with Ubisoft since 2014. And yeah, it's great to have this opportunity to share our story with you this morning.
And you're a bit far, so we don't hear you very well.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
And Giselle?
Hello, and I am Giselle Stewart, Director of UK Corporate Affairs for Ubisoft.
And so I'm Damien, I'm French. I've been working at Ubisoft for 20 years and joined the Northeast 3 years ago. And it's a fantastic region. I really like it. So Ubisoft, how has it been this year? It has been quite a rocky year, and just like everyone, and as we say in the previous session, COVID has completely changed the way everything was organized and challenged us a lot. And first thing that we've discovered is we've managed to do things that we didn't believe that we were able to do. And so first it was to ensure business continuity. In fact, we moved more than 400 people in a matter of a week. And if we had to do that before that, well, we will say it's just impossible. But as a matter of fact, we've managed to do it. And we managed to have something extremely, extremely smooth in terms of work. Of course, as people were locked in their house, we've seen a massive increase of activity in our contact center, and we had to cope with it. Hopefully, players were kind of patient, waiting for getting answers, but it has been very challenging. So before going and presenting Ubisoft, I would like to say some words about who are we as an industry. First, we are maybe one of the fastest growing segment in entertainment today. Maybe, of course, tech is going very fast, but within tech, video games is even going faster. And in the entertainment world, video games is now the #1 industry. So here you can see in this graph that the video games is bigger than the SVOD, theater, live music, recorded music, and physical home video all combined together. Video game is absolutely massive. It's in everyday's people's life. And what we can see is it translates into numbers. So today we have 2.5 billion unique players at a worldwide level. It's almost 40% of the worldwide population. And part of all the gamers, pretty much one gamer out of two is a woman. So we are very far from the cliche where gaming is only for a small fraction of the population. It's a true mass media market. And of course, just like UK is very big, so pretty much half the population is playing video games, and the market value was 7 billion, increasing very fast year on year. And so in that system, in that industry, Ubisoft, we are one of the main operating leader. I have a small video to share. And it should be good. Okay. So our main brand, maybe one of the major success that Ubisoft has is Assassin's Creed. The latest edition, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, has been a massive success. And it happened that it was actually some action were taking place in the Northeast. But Ubisoft, in fact, as you've seen in the video, has a very, very large portfolio, maybe one of the largest portfolio in the video game industry today, with a lot of very different leading brands. So it goes from Far Cry, Rainbow Six Siege, Just Dance, Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, Ghost Recon, For Honor, The Division, and all of that. And in order to develop all those games, we have one of the largest footprint uh, all across the world. And here you can see all the different places where we have studios. It's a true worldwide company. And we have today more than 20,000 people working for Ubisoft, gathering almost 100 nationalities and in 55 studios in the world. And in the UK, we have today 745 jobs. And as you can see, we are spread all across the UK. So we have business office in London. We have a mobile studio with Future Games of London as well, based in London. We have a studio in Leamington and in Newcastle. We have the Ubisoft CRC, so that I'm heading, and we have a development studio with Ubisoft Reflection. So specifically on Newcastle, we have been there since 2006. So it was starting with Ubisoft Reflection. It's a production studio with 270 people. And us at the CRC, we arrived in 2015. So managing all the customer relationship activities. And we are 250. And we gather 29 nationalities today. And as you can see, our building is on top of Haymarket, and you can see Civic Center just in the back. We are very well and very lucky to be here. So, why did we decide to go to Newcastle? In fact, when we wanted to internalize all this activity, something that was very important for us was to find a place where we could have a very strong video gaming culture. That was our primary element. We didn't want to go in a very low cost country. We didn't believe it was the right move. Second thing is we wanted to be in a true cosmopolitan city, because in contact center, you know, one of the challenge is to have the ability to find the right talent, and language is part of the key element that we are looking for. And so having a place where everyone will be okay to fly and to stay is something very important. A third element is to have skilled and flexible workforce. And so partnership with the local education is something extremely important. And the last one is it has to be accessible. And here the airport of Newcastle was extremely important in our decision making because it's connected to a lot of different places in Europe, and it was making a difference. And of course, why Newcastle? It's also because we had a fantastic pitch made by Newcastle City Council, really convincing us that Ubisoft was weighted here and we would get a lot of support. And honestly, the journey has been fantastic since we arrived 6 years ago. So that's our team. As you can see, it was during the winter. We were like 200. It seems to be like a very long time before. It was just before lockdown. And yes, it was a bit cold. That's why everyone has a coat. So what do we operate at the CRC? So obviously the headquarters is Newcastle. So from here, we are managing not only Europe, but we are also managing China and the APAC zone, where we have like smaller offices in Chengdu and Tokyo. And we have a lot of activity managed externally. So today it's managed in Lisbon, Bratislava, Varna, Xi'an in China. And we are just opening an activity in Okinawa, Japan. And what do we do? So the way we are serving our players is that's roughly, we have 4 pillars of activity. So first, we do listen our players. We provide a lot of one-to-one support, one-to-many, and we try to improve the quality of our games from here. So we play a very strategic role for the quality of all our product. So listening is we have a very large team of almost 50 people who are looking and screening what's happening online, trying to gather all the feedback that the people are telling about us. So they go on Twitter, they go on YouTube, they go on Reddit, they consolidate all those information and produce a dashboard just like this one. To see what people are saying about Ubisoft. What are they saying about our games? Is it positive? Is it negative? What can we improve? And based on that, we are making massive and very important decision in the way we are developing our product. It's when we say that we are listening, it's we are truly listening, and we are investing the time and the technology to do it. The second element is we track everything that's happening. So each time we have a player saying that he has an issue, saying it in and expressing it in one of the social network or contacting us, we report it, we document it, and we feed it back directly to the production team so that we can solve the issue at its root. We know that where we can contribute, it's all about the experience. It's all about improving the experience and solving the issue at its root. That's where we can make a difference. That's where we bring massive value. And then, of course, communication is very important. So we have a lot of self-help and our knowledge articles. Today we are managing more for public-facing articles. It's more than 5,000. So we are operating that at very much at scale. We do a lot of communication, especially on outage when we have connectivity issue. And it was more than 1,300 push last year. And forum, where we do a lot of animation with our community, is fairly important. So we've pushed more than 50,000 engagement from here. And that's how we are making a strong connection with our community. So we are listening to them and we are speaking with them at the same time while providing efficient support. Of course, one-to-one support is very important for us. So we are operating 3 channels today. Email is still our biggest channel with 60%. Chat is 30%, and social channel 10%. Our ambition at some point is to get rid of email. It's not a good way and very efficient way to provide support. In the past, we used to have phone. And just like it was said in the previous session, phone is very liked by our players, but it's also extremely demanding and very hard to be very strong at phone support. So we prefer to stop doing phone and do a good support on the chat activities. And we do those 3 channels. We are operating on 11 languages, so you can see the list here. And we are open 24/7. So it's we are trying to be as international as possible. And over the last years, we have invested a lot on improving our processes and our productivity. So we have recorded a 20% increase in the CRC productivity. 20%. And that's thanks to AI and machine learning, process improvement, journey mapping, well, all those very regular activities. And it's extremely important that we start to adapt because our market is changing all the time. It's moving at a very fast pace. And we get disrupted all the time. So we need to adapt. And of course, our activity needs to reflect it. So we had the free-to-play, which is a new business model. We have cloud gaming, making the gaming even more accessible to more people. We have cross-gaming. So now we have PlayStation 5 players against PC gamers. It's something quite new. The question of the player safety is something that is even more important for us, protecting the identity of our players and making sure that they have a safe and good and positive game session. We have launched a subscription model. We have launched and we have a completely new digital distribution model with a direct to players system with no intermediary, and all those elements is forcing us to adapt. So the flexibility is at the core of everything that we do, and that's how we have built our team. So our team evolution, and that has been our strategy. Actually, it has been the same since we've arrived 6 years ago. We've always wanted to internalize the expertise and to scale externally. That was the core of everything we wanted to do. So if we take a step back and look at what was our journey, first, we decided to externalize a lot of the level 1 type of support. So we externalized 70%. So 6 years ago, when we created the CRC, we were doing 80% of the level 1 support internally, 80%. And now we are only doing 30%. So we've pushed a lot of the activity externally. But while we were doing it, we've invested a lot of our staff, and we have increased our headcount here in Newcastle with higher value position, because it's how we can actually improve the global experience for the player. And so year after year, what we were doing is, so first we started to internalize the activity. We work a lot on the forecast. Then we invested on people who could make very strong bridges between the front line, so what gamers are telling us and what the studio were developing in terms of product. We invested in quality insurance. Then we had, of course, we reinforced our vendor management as we were pushing the activity externally. We had our own finance internally, giving us more autonomy in our strategy for the center, and developing our own strategy. We invested a lot on knowledge, on learning development, to manage all the different sites. We onboarded China and APAC, so it's establishing ourselves as a true HQ. The same, we invested more and more in the workforce management technology. And then we started to focus on automation and getting efficiency. So it's thanks to continuous improvement and IT resources directly within the CRC. And now it's all about fighting against the fraud, doing even more automation, investing on BI. So as you can see, it's moving from entry level position to extremely expert position. And that's what we are building, because that's how we believe that we can make a massive difference for our players. So now I will hand it over to Sarah, who will tell us a bit more about the HR strategy.
Can you drive the slides, please, Damien?
Yes.
Okay, so as you've heard, we've been on a significant journey with CRC, and how have we made all of this happen? Of course, ultimately, it's down to our people, and this is our global HR vision: to be an irresistible place to work for diverse talents looking to make a difference in tech and entertainment. So yeah, quite aspirational, and undoubtedly, as Ubisoft, we have a very strong employer brand, and the majority of our employees are passionate gamers, and everyone is united in making better gaming happen. And aside from the technical specialist positions like data analytics or content creation, even our entry-level roles require a strong technical profile. And one of the most important questions we ask in every interview is, so what are you playing at the moment? And luckily for me, Just Dance was a strong enough answer to join the HR team. So I was able to join Ubisoft. But being technical or an Assassin's Creed fan isn't enough. Cultural fit is really important to us too. We use a multifaceted recruitment approach in attracting candidates via direct channels, social media, partnering with local and specialist national agencies to find the talent that we need. And of the 74 team members we onboarded in the last year, only 10 were actually sourced outside of the UK. So we do have a really good recipe for now. Hopefully, we can sustain that in the long term. And we've also worked really hard to increase our gender diversity, and we currently have a 65-35% male-female split at the moment, which is one of the highest in Ubisoft, and is really testament, I think, to to our approach to recruitment, to our openness, our inclusivity, and also the fact that everything we do is about making everyone feel happy and bringing their best selves to work. Next slide, please. And this ultimately is the HR mission globally, to cultivate a caring and enriching experience where people can play their best and grow. And our local HR strategy is strongly inspired by Josh Bersin, Pillars of the Irresistible Organization. So we focus on meaningful work, hands-on management, having a productive environment, offering growth opportunities, trust in leadership, health and well-being, and these are all critical elements that we must have balanced. Of course, once we've welcomed new people to the team, retention is key, and we put a huge amount of energy and investment into the employee experience to cover all of these bases. You've heard from Damian how the value and the impact of the work our teams do has evolved, and we now have an OKR approach with regular check-ins and pulse surveys to ensure that everyone receives the support and feedback they need to thrive. We've got a great working environment, multiple enhanced policies to tangibly demonstrate how much we value our employees and what they bring to the business. So things like 6 months full paid mat leave, a month full pay for paternity leave, and we even have a paternity policy now for our furry family members. Mental health support is really important. We've got 17 trained mental health first aiders in our Newcastle operation, and all of our managers complete mandatory mental health first aid training. And in addition to support from our Bupa private healthcare policy, we've also very recently invested in Healing Clouds, which is a subscription therapy service which offers direct therapy in 14 languages, which is really important to our team, online chat counselling and advice, and that's available to everybody 24/7 without limitation. So a huge focus, and I guess we sometimes we have to go beyond the norm, because many of our people have relocated to Newcastle, not just from Europe but also from other areas in the UK. So we focus on supporting them with everything they need to settle down into our great city, and that's things like housing advice. How do you open a bank account? Where should you go for pizza? And which beaches should you go to? What should you do at weekends? We have a quarterly team building activity within each smaller team, and a social committee also regularly organising things to create moments for people to meet and develop friendships beyond their day jobs. And these range from remote online gaming events to days out, even beach cleaning, and so on. And also we appreciate the value of giving back. So every employee has 3 paid charity days per year to volunteer for a cause which is really important to them. Next slide, please. And our employee promise is that CRC is the gateway to a career in Ubisoft, and the numbers speak for themselves. In our most recent fiscal year, we've successfully gained 5 additional senior positions in the team, and that's testament to their talents and the trust placed in us by headquarters. We've seen a significant number of internal evolutions and exported our unique CRC spirit to 6 other Ubisoft locations, where the niche skills for our team members are really, really sought after. And all we're able to deliver this really but with the development and focus on evolution that underpins everything that we do. Next slide, please, Damian. So how do we go about building all of this expertise, securing our succession pipeline? Really, it's a multi-pronged approach, which has really come together over the last 12 months. And we start with grassroots development with our internal academy program, which allows junior team members to apply for positions on specialist programs to build tangible job skills and experience that positions them really well for future opportunities in the business. And this covers roles such as team management, games operations, and continuous improvement. We also firmly believe that good managers are absolutely crucial to our ongoing success, and all of our leaders complete a 6-month bespoke in-house leadership development program, which covers best-in-class management practice and is also underpinned with personal coaching sessions with a professional career coach. And beyond that, we're embracing agile methodology across the operation and heavily investing in building other expertise using opportunities offered by local universities. So some of you may have been on the previous session about the digital community manager apprenticeship, which we actually developed as a trailblazer employer and now partner with Sunderland University on. And we have several people signed up for higher level degree courses with the local universities. So we just need to continue to invest, build the expertise, and really deliver on our promise that CRC is the place to come to develop a career in the Ubisoft world. And I'll now hand over to Giselle.
Hi, thanks very much, Sarah and Damian. And as you can see, our theme is very much about building expertise. So COVID and Brexit last year were a perfect storm for us. We couldn't have really asked for any more activity, but we got it. Every day became a Saturday. Our contact with our players increased dramatically. And of course, we had to step up. And as you've seen from Damian's presentation, we increased our productivity by 20% over the last year. We also were very proud to say that we didn't furlough anybody or indeed make anybody redundant. And as we were so busy, it was quite obvious why not. We managed to hire 65 people during the course of the last year at the CRC, onboarded them virtually, trained them virtually. We still have another 5 in the pipeline. And this is against a backdrop of Brexit. So the system became quite administratively heavy. We had to make sure our European workers all got the documentation required for settled status. And now I suppose we find that the situation is heavier administratively, but it's a great thing to see that people are still so keen to come and work for us. And that quite often we find people already here, either in the UK or in Newcastle itself. One of the opportunities that we did get was to work alongside government to collaborate to help our players stay safe. And you can see from some of the slides on here with the shark, we participated in the Hands Face Space campaign quite playfully through our games. If you want to move on to the next slide, Damian. So this is about us building trusted partnerships. As you see, Damian and Sarah have looked at what we've done internally, and really we need to also focus on what we do externally for trusted partnerships. So we've already talked about why we landed in Newcastle, but Newcastle has been a great place to play our part within that ecosystem, really to work with the multiple international communities that are already here. It's a mutually supportive relationships like Alliance Française. We also work continually with Newcastle City Council and with NGI, seeing what we can offer them, but also looking at what they're planning to do with the city going forward and how it's going to position us as that attractive place to come and work in a cosmopolitan city. We work with a number of universities, but particularly with the CRC. We've worked with Newcastle University and most recently with Sunderland University. And that's an exciting relationship that we do hope to build on. Newer collaborations that we've spent a bit of time with have been with Northumbria Police and the National Crime Agency, where we look at how we look after our players online in the safest environment they can possibly have. And also at a national level, we work with our government department, DCMS, to see what initiatives they have, whether it's about working with the Information Commissioner's Office, or working on, for example, exciting projects in the last couple of years, like Great Exhibition of the North. Next slide, please, Daniel. And I thought I'd finish just by mentioning what work we do, really. We've talked about creating expertise in our businesses, but also we do feel a responsibility for reaching down the pipeline and building an excitement, really, for creativity and innovation for those people coming through the education system who we hope ultimately will end up with us or another allied digital profession. So we're one of the key partners in opening Northeast Futures, UTC, the tech and digital school based just next to the Crown Plaza, school for 14 to 19-year-olds. And we've worked on curriculum, events, and we very much hope to offer opportunities in the future. We also work on a games industry project known as Digital Schoolhouse, which is again about creating expertise in teaching computer science and allied subjects to school children. And we've brought 3 digital schoolhouses to the Northeast, and that is Northeast Futures, RGS, and Ponteland Community Middle School. Their teachers benefit from first-class training, and they get assets to child-friendly games like Raving Rabbit and Just Dance. Reflections, the sister studio up the road, runs a gaming school. And most recently, we've just gone into partnership with Newcastle University to create 2 scholarships for computer science for disadvantaged students. And most, I suppose, particularly to the CRC, Sarah and her team spent some time working on Esh Group's project, Building My Skills, to help school leavers build their interview experience. So I suppose this all relates back to building expertise. And one of the key things for me was Damian's mention of our increase in 20% productivity, which isn't often seen. One of the challenges we have in this country is increasing productivity, we're often told, and it's really been fairly stagnant since 2007. However, we've gone above the bar and created that 20%. So I'll hand back now to Damian to wrap up. And thank you very much for listening.
So, yes, we are reaching the end of this presentation. So thank you very much for everyone listening to this presentation. We are here. I think we have a little bit of time to answer any question you may have in the chat. Okay, so we don't have anything. So it has been so far a fantastic journey operating the business here from Newcastle. It's a true business-friendly place, and future looks really bright. So let's continue to be it this way. Thank you. I think we can close this meeting if there is no more question. I don't see anything. Okay. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.